Since it always goes live, it shows me that I'm live. I figured that I should go ahead and start talking because I know how that goes. I know how it goes. Yep. See, it's already got me dancing up there. Yes, I know the meeting is being live streamed. Thank you so much. Let me give myself a thumbs up to start the day off. And how are you guys tonight? I know there's nobody here yet. I'm just talking to myself, but that's okay. I'm used to it. I do it all day long. I sit in the sewing room and I talk to myself while I record this, that, and the other. And I listen to Hubby's work meetings, or at least his side of them. I don't hear the other side. And I'm like, okay. So today I have been piddling, and I did take my camera that's over here. See, pretty camera. I'm gonna switch cameras real quick. And then I'm gonna show you guys that I did clean most of my mess up. See, I did good. Was what my short said earlier, was that I was going to try to clean my sewing room up because Colleen challenged me. She's rotten. Hey, Lori. Lori is tired tonight. She had to go get her did today. Check to make sure that camera's pointing where I want it to point. Yep. Ooh, what a mess. So she got her hair did, and she got the doggy's hair did. So everybody's got fresh, pretty hair at her house. I want to get my hair did. See, it needs to be did. Something anyway with it, huh? And are you ready for tonight? I'm itchy. Where am I getting itchy sub from? Okay. I don't know what you're doing. Hi, Nancy. How are you tonight? How's Terry? We won't stay on this camera for very long. I just figured I'd do this while it was a busy day. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So numbers, Colleen is over 1140. Yay, go Colleen. Sylvia was at 824 when I looked earlier. I'm over 2,500. I think I'm 2510 something, 10 or 10, 13, 25, 13, something like that. I don't know. Somewhere up there. Picked a couple up from my last short. And I have a theory on YouTube, and I was kind of waiting to share it with everybody once they got here. I figure Colleen will appreciate it. Colleen, hello. Tracy, yay. Yeah, yay on the numbers for everybody. So I have a theory on YouTube, and like I said, I wanted to wait till Colleen got here to share it because I just thought of this a little bit ago. I was complaining, well, yeah, complaining is the right word. I said last week that YouTube hasn't been showing much of our shorts and stuff lately. I've not been getting the views that I'm used to getting. So I put up shorts all weekend. I put up shorts today. I was like, ugh, this is getting old. And I almost didn't put one up right before we came live tonight. And I thought, yes, I can't not do it. You know what I mean? So I put a short up basically in answer to Colleen's, because Colleen put up one showing how tidy her space was. And I was like, I'm going to show how untidy mine is. So I threw it up there. I was mad at YouTube. it got subscribers and over 1,400 views. So I have a theory on YouTube. It knows when you're mad at it, and the algorithm is a mean girl. It'll be mean to you, mean to you, mean to you. And then, okay, screw it, I'm done. The algorithm goes, here, I'll give you a carrot. That's what I think the algorithm. So I don't know who's programming the YouTube algorithm, but come on, YouTube, get it together. I'm sorry he had a bad day, Nancy. I'm glad he's doing better today. Holding just finished dinner. How fast do you eat, chick? She was telling me right before I came live that she just got her dinner. So, yeah, but it's just like, it gives you a carrot, so you'll stick around for a minute, I guess. I'm just like, ugh, what a pain, what a pain. So I cut out a block earlier and I was going to record it. And then, of course, Florida weather got in the way. And our power kept flickering. So it's like, I'm not going to record a power flick while it's flickering because I'll just have to fight with it. It would just keep resetting my recorder and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew up that block. And what I picked out is one of the Quilt Builder card deck blocks, and I have never built this one. So I don't know if it's going to go together the way it's supposed to, but this is the block and it looks really simple. I hope that it will be. Basically it's square and a square and then in a square. So we're going to try this and see how well I do doing it the first time on camera. If I mess it up, you guys can just pretend it didn't happen. I'd appreciate that. And if it comes out okay, well, then of course it was because, I have mad sewing skills. We all know that's not true. All right, we're going to switch cameras here. I already moved it around once so that I wouldn't have to make Sherlock dizzy. And here I am over here. Hello, hello. So I've got all of this put together, and I was told that you guys would rather see me than the sewing machine. So this should be best of both worlds, I hope. And I'll give you measurements as I go, even though I'm not supposed to technically show their graphics. And what I've got, we're going to start off with, and I'm using my wild springtime colors. So the center block of this is a 4-inch square. And then you need 2 3 3/8-inch squares cut in half. I'm trying to figure out what's the inside and the outside, or the right side and the wrong side. This is a batik that I'm using. And I think it's very, very pretty. And I'm going to finger press as we go. And then I'll iron once we get down to the last thing. And I guess that if I were a smart person, yes, you do, you ain't fooling me. What did I not fool you on? That's scary when they say that, because it means that they've decided something I don't know about myself. Trying to get that centered there. I think this way you should be able to see basically what I'm sewing. If you need an up close view on something, this should give you a chance to ask for it and still give me a chance to get it sewn and still talk to you. You like this way, huh? Okay. This and the 10 lights that I've got on here. It ought to be hotter than Hades in here. It really should be, but it's not. Of course, it's been pretty windy outside today, so I think between that and the rain, the temperature dropped. I'm going to apologize right now if I sneeze. Did everybody catch my Cotton Cuts block 4 earlier today? I put that together and took me a couple of days. But that went up today, and hopefully it is easy to understand. My friends tell me it's easy to understand. So I had sewing skills. I may be mad about the sewing skills. My friends tell me that it was a good video, but you know, they're biased. Or at least I think they are. Could be wrong. I've had some friends who made me wonder. Thank you, Colleen. Yes, I would appreciate the thumbs up if you feel so inclined to do so. All I'm doing here is cutting off my little dog ears. Okay, and then the next step on this is we're going to go this way. And I always have to check this white fabric. So this is the second part of your square and square. And just trying to make sure that it's all even. This part's easy. The part I'm concerned about is when we get out there to the outside of this block. Not 100% sure that that's going to work for me. So that's what I'm concerned about. Yeah, you do resemble that remark. You are my friend. I just think you guys would compliment me even if you didn't think it was good. I mean, you've already said you watch anything and everything I make, which is nice. That kind of loyalty is awesome. And I don't know if it's required or not, but I'm putting the squares on opposite sides first and then going back and doing the other two sides. It just makes sense to my brain that way. I could be doing it wrong. I may not have lurkers, Billy. Who knows? I appreciate it though, the lurkers and the talkers. And along that same lines, I want to say, because I keep forgetting to say this towards the end of my lives, so I want to say it up front and early. I love my mods. They are the bomb. They take care of issues before I even know they're issues most of the time. They'll come in and start running their trap, and before I've even, yeah, and before I've even noticed the person, my mods have got them wrapped up and knocked out the door, which is nice. As long as they don't get somebody that just doesn't know etiquette. I already told them about my friend Tans. She has a screen name that would make you wonder, and she's never been in one of my live chats. But I have told the moderators about her so that they don't accidentally knock her out of a chat. And I also asked her to make a less provocative screen name than what she normally uses, so that my mods don't have to knock her out of chat. Just getting dog ears again. I'm going to square that up real quick, so I need to hit it with the iron. Hello, Gay. Yeah, and I appreciate that, Tracy, because I'm a viewer too. First and foremost, I'm a viewer of YouTube stuff. And I know that over the years, I've watched some videos that have made me not crazy, but that I thought could have been done better. That's one of the reasons that I started YouTubing. And I don't ever want to come across as criticizing anyone. So I'm not going to name any names on that, but I have sat and watched some YouTubers and thought, how did you decide to do that way? And of course, you know, you do it however you want, but if you're teaching it, you need to try to be efficient if you can be. And I could have saved myself the trouble of cutting off my dog ears, because I need to trim the sides of my blocks to make everything match anyway. And I'm trying to make sure I've got 1/4 of an inch. You guys can't see that. I'll show you in just 1 second. Let me get this trimmed up. I don't want to move the camera while that's the camera that's on. So what I did was I trimmed up this outside edge and tried to leave myself 1/4 inch at each point, so I could make these the way I want to make them and make them come out right. And I know I've got Lori Holt thrown in there with some crazy boutiques. Hopefully Lori will forgive me for using her fabric that way. And if she doesn't, then I'll just have to cry. And then these are those little angled pieces at the outside edge. Yeah. I'm looking at the pattern to make sure I'm doing it right. And I should have probably sewn it with the point on top. I didn't think about that. But then I can see the point and not lose that point as I'm sewing. So on the next one, let me make sure I put the point up on top. Okay, so I didn't lose that one. I kept it. On this one, I'm going to put the point on top. And I thought that I would need to snowball these. I don't think that's the way they're intended to be done. I think you make the whole block into a snowball. I am not talking about you, Colby. Quit assuming that every comment is about you. I love you. You're not the center of my universe. Wayne is. Wayne and the grandkids. If I thought you were doing something wrong, you know I would pick up the phone and either text message you or call you. I did it again, turned it right on its side, the wrong way up. Oh well. I'll put my finger on that point, so hopefully I can not lose it. Yeah, That's my biggest worry. Wayne and the grandkids. Everybody else, well, the kids and the grandkids. I don't want to say that and have my kids think I don't love them. We don't want that happening. Okay. Well, that's kind of true, Colleen. I mean, I don't know. I think you have to be independent to a point, no matter who you're in a relationship with or who you love. If they're doing something that harms you or whatever, you need to be able to see that. But I think you also need to be able to see that because things happen, relationships end, people pass. So you still gotta. It goes with that old saying about you can't make somebody else happy unless you're happy with yourself. That's kind of the thought process on that one. I want to be kind to my friends and family, but and I don't always agree with your hubby, but on that one I agree. You got to be able to stand up for yourself. Now I'm giving this iron or some heat love, as Brandy over at 100 Proof Quilter calls it, who I missed again today. She's going to think I don't love her. And then what I'm going to do here is I need to put corners on here. And I think what I'm going to do I'm thinking if anybody has any tips for me here. I'm going to sew over across the corner and come in a 1/4 inch from the edge of this and then cut off that outside corner and then iron it, I think. Let's try that and see how that looks. It should still give me my corner point and give me what they want on this block. The directions do say yeah, so when I square that up, that's not right. Is it? That isn't right. Well, Tracy, and that's a personal choice that, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. And if you're happy with yourself, then you shouldn't have to deal with somebody else. I had pretty much decided that when Wayne found me. And believe me, I was tired of picking. I was like, no bother. Okay, so here's my block. And they want this up here. This makes no sense to me. This is why I have avoided this block to this point. Because I've been like, huh? So I'm lining up so that the point matches the point down there. Now you guys get to see how my brain works. Because this is a real huh moment for me. Hello, Kelly. Well, on this one, I couldn't figure out how they got that point, but I think that what I've got to do is sew on these and then square the whole block up to the size that I need, which is 10.5. So we're going to try that. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to throw the card and the block itself in the garbage and pretend I never did this. And if anybody ever asks me about it again, I'll be like, what? I didn't do that block. And we'll let Colleen or somebody with more brains than me teach it. Because I'm just like, what? This makes no sense. And somebody out there is going, but that's not how you do that. And if you are, then more power to you. And why didn't you teach it? And this is why I started teaching these quilt builder blocks, because there are no real directions in this box for how to do this stuff. It basically gives you an exploded drawing and says, do it. And it gets even more confusing. I think Colleen touched on this morning and maybe planning to teach something about this, but it gets even more confusing because they have 4 sizes on the back of this card. 5 sizes, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 36 inches. And I can't tell you how many times I have started writing down directions off the back of one of these cards to teach it and written down one number wrong from the size that I thought I was working on. So I'll be writing down numbers from the 10-inch and throw one from the 12-inch in there. Oh, Miss Ellen, how are you? And she's going to be live tomorrow at 10. You have a set time now, huh? Good. I'm glad. That doesn't mean I'll make it, but I will try. I still haven't passed the kidney stone, but the pain has mostly abated. Thank goodness. And I don't have an infection, so that's thank goodness too. Do you think I have Post-its in my sewing room, Colleen? Seriously? Okay, I am going to move the camera a little bit down here. You don't need to see my drink. But what I want to show you is this. Don't look too closely under here. Got a 10.5 inch. That's 9. I need one. Do a 10.5 inch. Don't look at my mess. I hung up the curtain so I could hide the mess, or mostly anyway, more for my own benefit than anybody else's. Okay, and so I want to do 10 and a half. You can watch my brain fry right now because that's where we're at. See, the way that's laying, it looks like it should work out to the exact right size as long as I take the dog ears off. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to square up using those diamonds, the little triangles I put on there, as my guide. And they really should give you a better way to measure those long pieces. But they tell you to cut them at 2 1/4 by 8 1/4 and then chop off the ends. And I'm like, that didn't make any sense to me. So once again, we're going to work off of how does this make sense to Melissa? And I've got all those little triangles I can use. A hair shy of 10 and a half on this direction, but it's spot on this way. So I think that came out pretty well. Hello, Shirley. How are you? May you offer a suggestion? You can offer it. I think I already screwed it up. I done it. I done did it. I mean, if you're wanting to offer a suggestion on the block, you're more than welcome to. Before you came in, I was actually sitting here saying, I don't know what I'm doing. This is mosaic number 7 from the Quilt Builder card deck. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, this is what was getting me, Tracy, was that little triangle in the funky corner there. That was what was getting me. And there are in this box like 4 or 5 more mosaic blocks. And they look really simple when you look at them on the card. But then when you start cutting it out, I should have just put 2 rows of borders around my center square and then put triangles on the corners. The way I saw it, and I'm going to show more of this than I probably should, was 2 square and squares. And I think that that may be what they were intending whenever they put it together. To see there's a square And then you've got the diamonds around it, the diamonds again. And really, you know what I could have done? I do see what you're saying, Shirley, but I saw square and square. It's a different way of looking at it. But the reason I was pulling this one out was because I wasn't really sure about how to do that on the outside edge. So that was why I had chosen that one, because it confused me. And I'm easy to confuse. Yeah, the gradient on the picture does make it somewhat confusing. I do like that they have multiple colors here, because you can see the square and then the diamonds. And I know that they didn't do it so it would match, but they did it so that you could see the different colors. And I may have made a design choice here rather than using another color, because I used background for there and for that outer. So that may have been a boo-boo on my part. Yeah, it does look like the pig. I'm always open to an alternate way to do a block though. I'm going to switch over to the other camera here, and then we can see this one work with the computer. Okay, so here's the block as I did it. And I think my back looks pretty good for that particular block. But when I saw it, I saw square and square. If I put borders around the center square, would I have had to cut the corners off like you do a pineapple block? Right, the colors don't show up on the other side. That's why I was not questioning you, but trying to see how you saw it, because Colleen and I do that all the time. We'll both look at a block, and like she was showing one this morning. Yeah, Colleen was showing one this morning that she likes. It's a carpenter star. And there's one of my blocks that I did a while back that Colleen really likes. Let me, I just show me. There you go. There's one that Colleen really likes, and I'm going to see if I can find it real fast, because she sees it with. Is that it, Colleen? No, that's another mosaic. Looking for this one. Or these two, actually. She sees them with I see it all as HSTs, but she sees it as I see it as HSTs. She sees it as flying geese. And I think that that's part of the beauty of having different people teach the same blocks. Trying to make sure I put them back in right side up. Because these are confusing. The cards can be confusing. And having different people demonstrate it makes it more understandable. The Dutch rose, yeah. I call it the diamond block. Anyway, so that's this one for today. And I still want to dig the Jacob's ladder back out. Yeah, I still want to get the Jacob's ladder back out and do one of those in blue and white and one in green and white. I just haven't pulled that out, and I'm not going to do it on camera. I think I had said that last week, but I am going to work it into the quilt that I'm working on from the Quilt Builder card deck. Excuse me, take a drink. But yeah, I'm always looking for a new alternative way to do a block because personally I stink at you do it, Colleen, however you want to do it. I lost my train of thought. Hey Dawn, how are you tonight? Dawn at My Quilt Projects. She's in my bot. And but anyway, I know that when I look at blocks, I see the simplest possible way to do something. Yeah, but sometimes my simplest possible way doesn't jive with what yours is because Colleen likes doing flying geese to a point. I'm not big on flying geese at all. I do everything as HSTs because that makes sense to my brain. And then there may be other people like Shirley had a different idea for this particular block that I did tonight. And I can see Shirley's way working. It might look a little bit different than what the mosaic looks like on, oh, I love that Jacob's ladder, Nancy. Do you want me to show you what that looks like? I did that one just a couple of weeks ago. And I did put these in upside down just as slick as I could do it. I'll have to sit here and play 100 card pickup at some point. Oh, I just put those two in upside down. Good job. And I'm not, yeah, they do call it a Jacob's ladder. This is the Jacob's ladder. And actually, what I was always taught was the Jacob's ladder was 1/4. Yeah. Come back over here. Let's see if this camera will give us a better angle on it so you can see it. Oh, that ought to give you right up my nose, right? All right, so this is the Jacob's ladder. And I was always taught that 1/4 of this quilt block is a Jacob's ladder. Now the cards have you make 4 of them as a Jacob's ladder. Okay, and this one section is what I was taught was one. So I'm thinking that I want to pull mine out and I want to do a blue version and a green version, you know, blue and white and green and white. And I want to do the 4 patch, one in blue and white, one in green and white. I really love the blocks that Stephanie and Shannon came up with to do. And I love that block anyway. Let me slide this backwards and we'll just keep it up here because it's a better camera than the other two that I've got. And then you can see more of my mess. Yeah, we dig through these card boxes a lot. I really thought when I first started using them that I wouldn't use these boxes as much as I do. But there's some really good information in there, even though I gripe about the way they explain things. Right. Oh, they did the sparkling star. I'll have to look for that one. But I don't think that the card box does a great job of explaining things, but I'm also a hands-on person. So I like to lay things out and try to do it. Yeah, I like to lay things out and try to do it. And then that usually gives me a better idea of what I'm doing. Right. And I was always taught that 1/4 of that is a Jacob's ladder. So I really was confused whenever I came upon that block in this box. You love doing crumb stars. Is that in this box, Ellen, or is that one that you do from outside there? It's fine if it is. I've never heard of a crumb star unless you're talking about making a star block scrappy, which I absolutely love. That idea I love, love, love. Dawn, I think what they're doing is they're picking a color theme, a two-color theme like blue and white or green and white, and then they're doing a whole bunch of different blocks. So, and if you want to do a whole quilt of one block, you can, but I think that bigger than doing the one block is just to match the color. So you probably need a couple of yards of whatever you decide your base color is. I'm not going to do this quilt along with them because I have some other stuff going. I'll tease you. I've got all my little pieces cut for it. I showed these on several shirts. So I've got these all cut, and I've got my my embroidery file created. I just haven't had time. I need to move the embroidery machine over here where I can, over onto my counter, where I can film it without the embroidery machine shaking, and then get that recorded for you. I was going to do it this weekend, but something about a kidney stone kept me from getting in there and recording it. Yeah, I think it will be a two-color sampler when it's done. And I love the idea. Oh, I love the Jacob's Ladder block. I agree with you. Well, you know, Dawn, if you really wanted to do the Jacob's Ladder block, you could do maybe, like, I don't know if you like red and blue or whatever, but you could do the smaller, the 1/4 part of it, and do half of them in one color and half of them in another, and then put that together as a quilt. Or what I think would be really neat looking, and I don't know what it would look like as an overall pattern, but like if you used white as the background and blue as the foreground, and then switch it around and do the blue as the background and the white as the foreground, that could be really cute. Like I said, that's just a thought that just popped in my head. It's not, I'd have to draw it out and play with it to see. The biggest on the card is 36 inches. And that's why I said, I think Colleen touched on it this morning, and there might be a longer video coming about it. I don't know. I'm not the person to explain numbers. Colleen is the math person. And so I'll let her do the math thing. All I know is that, thank you, Ellen, I appreciate the thumbs up. All I know is that I have to really watch myself to make sure. Ooh. Oh, Dawn, I can't wait. I haven't even started the Tilda quilt because I got sidetracked by Sunbonnet Sue and then this mystery thing. Tried to get it done. So yeah, I'm a long way from being able to do another quilt of any kind. And I've still got a baby quilt to finish. So I got the baby shower invitation a couple days ago. Yeah, I can't wait to see the orange and white. And that will be, I don't know, I think me and Dawn must be kindred spirits somewhere along the way, because she comes up with stuff and I'm just like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see that. Except Dawn's faster at sewing than I am. So, and she did a short not too long ago where Dawn, I got to give you kudos for climbing up the slide. The card of the block I made tonight, sure. 5 tonight, right? Shirley is still trying to figure out how to make this easier, I think. All I'm trying to cover up is their numbers here. So let's get the picture up here where you can see it. It is not focusing where it's beans. Can you see that well enough, Shirley? A cat's eye? This kind of looks like an eye. Get it up there so Shirley can see it. Now, I think that probably now their graphics are copyrighted, so I'm trying to make sure I don't. Oh, the spider would have kept me from sliding too, but I was impressed that you climbed the slide at all. And yeah, it is hard to see that little on the other side. It does look like you just put borders around it. I didn't see that until you said that it was hard to see it. Yes, you should have slid, but I know why you didn't. And I wouldn't have slid because of the spider either. I would have slid because I'd be afraid that I'd burn my butt on that slide going down. Did they have a merry-go-round too there, Dawn? I have to ask. That was my first thought. Was, do they have a merry-go-round? But Shirley, on this card deck, what's copyrighted is the right. And I see where you didn't see the color variation because I didn't show it way up close. And yes, I would have probably thought the same thing you did. Why didn't you just put two borders around it and be done with it? So yeah, that makes loads of sense. But I have a feeling that between the charity quilt and everybody that's doing this right now, working out of these, they've probably sold more boxes of these in the last year or so, and especially in the last couple of months, than they had in probably years. Unless there's like, because I've Googled and looked on YouTube and Instagram for these blocks and haven't found a lot of them. There is a place called of, except for a few of these, and these may have different names than what shows on that website. But Generation Quilts has a lot of breakdowns for blocks. It's still a written instruction sheet for it. And if you're the kind of person who works well from written instructions, let me turn this a little more towards me. If you're the kind of person who works well from written instructions, that might work really well for you. I'm still a hands-on learner. There's more than that for some of them. I think it was Beth Shibley who put up oh, it probably would make watchers get sick. Yeah, I think Beth Shibley was doing one, maybe the Ohio Star, and she named off half a dozen at least names for the block that she was working on that day. And I called that, oh, the Flower Patch. It wasn't an Ohio Star, it was the Flower Patch. With the one I messed up and ended up calling it Flower Power. She made a flower basket block and she said there was at least half a dozen names. I don't work so well doing my own thing. Oh, you guys. I opened up my clue number 5 today to look at it from Cotton Cuts, and look what they gave me. Aren't those pretty? I got a purple one, and this one is an ombre pink going into yellow. And then this one I got from hubby. They sent it to him in work. Yeah. Ellen, you have a great night. It was nice seeing you. I appreciate you coming. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Yeah, I did a short a while back, Dawn, about what can you do with 4 HSTs. And I had 4 HSTs that were red and yellow, and literally kept turning them, making different blocks out of them. I made a pinwheel and an inside square and an outside square. That was pretty popular. I mean, you're more than welcome to try it. There's nothing new in the YouTube world. I'm sorry. And please God, somebody make some shorts. I watch shorts. I watch shorts on YouTube and I watch them on Facebook because I want to see what's going on out there. And I like shorts even before I started making them. But this weekend, I swear it was 24 times. I assume they're just for paper since they're just regular black ink. But apparently this is one of the things that Cotton Cuts does is drops a pin in every couple of months for you when you're subscribed. And I'm doing the Village Green, the small in cornflower. I put up a video earlier today about Clue 4, and these were in the Clue 5 package. I just looked to see what was in there, so I knew if I was going to be dealing with something complicated or not. And it looks fairly easy to do. Yeah, there isn't anything new in quilting. It all comes down to how do you personally use it, and how do you personally, if you're a YouTuber and you're teaching, how do you teach? YouTube is a mean girl. That was what I was saying before everybody came in earlier, Dawn, is YouTube's a mean girl. All weekend, all my shorts were like under 100 views. And this afternoon, I was sitting here and I was kind of grousing and saying, I'm not putting up another short today. The other 2 I put up today got nothing. And then I got mad, and Colleen put up a short about how pretty and tidy her sewing room was. So I put one up and said, look, she challenged me. Her sewing room's tidy and mine looks like this kind of thing. And it was hilarious because that great night, Shirley. It was hilarious because that short got like almost 1,500 views and got stressed. And I was sitting here going, that is the mean girl. That's exactly how she acts. She tortures you and tortures you until you go, I'm not doing this anymore. And then she goes, oh yeah, by the way, let me be nice for a minute. Why YouTube? So YouTube's algorithm is a mean girl. Yeah, YouTube is a mean girl. She ordered the triangles on a roll this weekend to be a little different, and then saw Pat Sloan talk about them. Well, that doesn't mean that you copied Pat Sloan. That just means that great minds think alike. I think that everything kind of, it's like dust. It spreads around and everybody catches it at the same time. You know, because I'll be thinking, oh, well, today I was thinking about a bucket hat. It's summer. Bucket hats are summer. That's something that everybody's going to come up with. So if 14 people make bucket hats in the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to go, it's summer. But I don't know why it popped in my head. It was just, I was walking along and thought, oh, bucket hat. Yeah, I should make a bucket hat. It seems like I just made a bucket hat. I did last summer. You know, you've seen Kimberly Jolly do the triangles on a roll. So it doesn't matter who you've seen do them. I've seen Kate at Last Homely House use them, I think. And I know I've seen Beth Shibley use them over at my sewing room. She got some. I haven't seen her use them since then. You made 4 bucket. See, I told you bucket hats are in the air. And next week it will be something completely different. Yeah, lots of people have used them. And they work great for a lot of people. I personally prefer the Magic 8, but you know, there's a lot of people who do them a lot of different ways. You will be making a bucket hat next week, Colleen. I predict it. I predict it because Tim will want one or the kid will want one. I almost made this block tonight as a square and a square where you take this square and sew this square to it and then fold it out and then sew the next square. Because Colleen, that's the way the universe works. There will be a reason that you have to have them next week. I'm not, it's just the way it happens. My mother once said, she was talking to the neighbor on the phone, and she said, we've had our share of medical troubles here lately with the kids. And before she even got the stupid sentence out of her mouth, I heard my brother scream. And we had to call the ambulance because my brother decided to play Superman and jumped off the swing when he had the swing set, you know, like swung as far forward as he could do it and broke his stupid arm. Literally hadn't got the sentence out of her mouth yet. I told my mom, I said, don't you ever say anything like that again. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dawn. I appreciate that. I wasn't sure. And if you watch the replay, you'll see I waffled on how to do this corner because it has you cut this long piece. But when I got down to it, I just had to square up the block to the size I needed and it worked perfectly. So I was intimidated by it for no reason. I was intimidated by it for no reason. I feel like I'm hulking here. I don't want to do that. I want to sit up straight. We all love you, Tracy, and you love us. We got it. We know. But yeah, I'm just working on teaching them, and it was pretty quick because I had it all cut out. That's the part that takes me a while, is to figure out what colors I want to use in it. And I am still trying to stick to having that, you know, a bright green in most of the blocks, at least somewhere. And I got 2 in this one. So I think I did pretty good. But I'm putting a lot of those spring summery colors in there, pinks and purples and neon green, because I happen to like them. So, all right, guys. So we have been on here right about an hour, maybe a little bit over. And I'm pretty sure that everybody's links have been put in. So that's all good. Again, I want to thank my moderators for coming in to chats and making sure everything runs smoothly. And Tracy, I didn't miss you saying that you're thinking about working on the professional bag. You go, girl. I'm ready to pretty soon. I've got to get this quilt done. This little funky quilt that I want to make. And then I can probably do that. I don't know that I want to do it online because I can't keep all the footage together. That's the hard part. I'm going to have to remake that other purse in order to get all the footage I need for it. So maybe we'll do the professional tote and I'll film that instead. And just film my portion of it, not film you. We'll just do it on Discord or Zoom or something. And if we do it on Discord, anybody who is in that in Colleen's Discord is welcome to join us to watch or participate or comment, whatever. And I just hit 2,500. So I don't know, maybe we should do a Zoom soon so that everybody can sew together if they want to? Or is it time for me to schedule another sewing bee for this weekend coming? So you guys think about it. Let me know on Thursday and we will work from there. Okay. Be the light. Oh, Colleen's changed hers up. Be the light or the Molotov cocktail. All I'm going to say is I hope you have a great time tonight. Please be kind to other people. And, don't be kind to them just because they're nice, but be kind to them because you are. And I say if somebody's going to be close enough to criticize your work, tell them to go home. They don't need to. I don't mind constructive criticism. I just don't like people who come over just to say, oh, well, you didn't do a good job of sewing that. Those people I don't like. Let those sourpusses go home. All right, guys. I hope y'all have a great week. I will see you Thursday, either live or Memorex. I don't know for sure yet. But I love y'all and stay happy.